Your video can look amazing, but if the sound is bad, people will click away in seconds. Today I will show you 7 audio editing tips in DaVinci Resolve that saved me a lot of time and made my sound much more consistent. Let's jump straight into tip number 1. Having an external microphone like this one can really enhance the quality of your videos, but did you ever notice that the lips are not in sync with the audio? Adjusting it manually is not only slow, but it's also really easy to leave the dialogue a few frames out of sync, and once you start cutting, everything just gets worse. Instead of nudging clips by hand, let Resolve do it for you. On the edit page, select your original clip and external audio clip. Right-click and choose Auto-Align Clips and synchronize using Waveform. Resolve will analyze the waveforms, line them up and put your clean mic exactly where it should be. After that, you can mute or delete the audio from the camera and just use the good track. I use it every single time because it's faster and simply more accurate than eyeballing the waveform. Tip number 2 is to normalize your dialogue after you finish your rough cut. Here's what usually happens. You record different parts of videos on different days at slightly different distances from the mic. In some parts you speak loud and energetic, in the others you are a bit more quiet or tired. If you jump straight into mixing, you end up chasing levels clip by clip, and the dynamics of your voice jump all over the place. What I like to do is, first I do my rough cut and remove all the parts I'm not going to use. Then, when my dialogue timeline is more or less locked, I select all the dialogue clips. Right-click and choose Normalize Audio Levels. I don't normalize based on true peak because that includes sudden noises like a cough, a gust of wind or a little mic bump. Instead, I normalize using integrated loudness and independent mode. I generally aim my dialogue around -16 as a starting point. The result is simple. Even if in one section I was speaking more quietly, after normalization that part comes up and matches the rest. If you normalize before the rough cut, the integrated loudness will take into account the audio as a whole clip, so you won't fix those random, sleepy and quiet moments. Tip number 3 is to add a basic compressor to your voice. You've probably watched a video that isn't necessarily too loud, but it still kind of drills into your ear and feels fatiguing. Often that's what happens when there is no compression at all or it's set badly. Even if you normalize your clips, there will still be louder words or laughs that poke out of the mix. To tame that, I put a compressor on my dialogue track in Fairlight. Check out the difference it makes. Check out the difference it makes. You don't need to overcomplicate it. Open the dynamics section on your dialogue track. Turn on the compressor and pick a moderate ratio, like 3:1. Lower the threshold until you see a few decibels of gain reduction only on the louder words. Keep attack and release somewhere in the middle so it reacts naturally. If the voice is too quiet after compression, you can use makeup gain to bring it back up. The goal is not to squash your voice flat, it's just to make those occasional spikes less aggressive so your whole voice feels smoother and easier to listen to. Tip number 4, add a limiter at the end of your chain. Sometimes you get wind gust hitting your mic or one syllable that is louder than the others, and those peaks can go above 0 decibels. That's where the ugly distortions happen while you render. On your main bus or master output in Fairlight, add a limiter, choose Soft and set the input to -1. Then set the ceiling a bit below 0. Around -1.1 dB is a good safe margin. This way, if something suddenly spiked in your mix, the limiter just gently catches that peak and prevents clipping. It shouldn't work all the time. You want it to only touch the very top of the loudest moments. YouTube also expects your true peak to stay below -1 dB, so keeping your signal at this level gives you clean and control master and avoids platform changing your sound. Next tip is to use integrated LUFS to make sure that your video is not quieter than anything else. You've probably clicked on a YouTube video before where you had to crank the volume all the way up to just hear anything, and the next video blew your ears off. YouTube uses loudness normalization. If your video is much louder than their reference, they'll just turn it down, but if it's quieter, they don't turn it up, it just stays quiet compared to other videos. So after I'm done with my basic mix, normalization, a bit of compression, limiter on the output, I play through the timeline and look at the integrated LUFS for the whole video. For most YouTube content, I like to land somewhere around -14 LUFS integrated. If I'm much quieter, I'll raise it a little so viewers don't have to ride the volume knob every time they watch one of my videos. The point is not to chase the specific number, just to be in the correct ballpark, because you don't want your videos to stand out in a negative way. Tip number 6 is about music ducking, but focus on saving your time. In a video like this, you have those sections where you talk, but also those little chapters or B-roll moments where there is no dialogue and you want the music to come up and carry the scene. Doing this completely by hand, adding keyframes every time you start and stop talking, might work on a 1-minute short. But on a long project or on a full YouTube video with lots of chapters, it can easily cost you hours. Click on your music track in the mixer, turn on the ducker, and then set the source to the track with your dialogue. You can control how deep the ducking is and how fast it reacts, so it feels musical and not like a hard gate. You just set it up once and it works across your entire timeline, including those silent cutaways and transitions. Tip number 7 is about looping the music without the viewer noticing, or even letting DaVinci do it for you if you're on studio. Let's say you have a track that's a bit too short for your sequence. You copy it, put it back to back, and you can clearly hear where it ends and starts again. A simple fix is to use crossfades between the end of one clip and the beginning of the next. On the timeline, overlap 2 music clips a little bit and add a short crossfade where they meet. Adjust the length until you can't hear the transition anymore. It should feel like one continuous longer track, even though it's actually 2 or 3 clips stitched together. If you're using DaVinci Resolve Studio, you can take this a step further with the AI music editor. You can select a song, tell Resolve how long you want the music to be, and it will automatically analyze the track and create a new music clip that fits that duration, with cuts and transitions that are very hard to notice. If you want more quick wins like this, I also made a video with 6 editing tips in DaVinci Resolve that are all about saving time in the edit itself, deleting gaps, copying settings, stacked timelines and more. You can click here to watch it next. If you liked this video, consider subscribing. I'm making more DaVinci Resolve and filmmaking videos. Thanks for watching and remember, let your films be shot by reality.